Alright, so what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, man. It's your boy. And I know Marvel Future Fight, it's a PvE game with a little bit of PvP. For the most part, the majority of the player base, they don't care about timeline battle. They run it on auto. I do the same thing myself. However, I did want to make at least one video pointing out the usefulness of Ebony Maw in this new uniform. This dark obsidian armor does so much for this character. Literally turns him from just being a support that people use occasionally for PvE but primarily for PvP to now being a force to be reckoned with, where he can drop off your units in PvP and he just makes Sentry even more of a monster. Here's the thing, I've never really been like the biggest fan of this PvP team, right? I would have generally prefer to do something like this: put on an extra DPS in Silver Surfer. Any week that he's not banned, I like to couple him with Sentry. The reason for that is very simple. None of my CTPs are reforged, right? I'm not really on the reforging wave right now, so for me, I don't want to commit to just one character doing the bulk of my damage, so that if they die, I'm basically just screwed. Like I said, PvP in this game is not the biggest thing, especially if you spend money on the game, where you can just buy all the crystals that you would otherwise get for winning like over 100 fights this week. I'm probably just gonna get 200 crystals, right? So like, what's the point, right? The point is though, Ebony Maw is really good. So if you're struggling to get wins in PvP, buying this uniform, believe it or not, is actually one of the best things you could do for your account. Because even though right here, going from this like to this, he's only getting, well, he's only offering 10% more damage to universal types and then an extra 10% damage reduction from universal types. It's actually so impactful. I have noticed a massive difference in the DPS from my Sentry, right? So much so that I kind of have to drop Silver Surfer out of my team in place of Ebony Maw. Because Ebony Maw can come in and he can slap people too, right? He can one shot with his fourth skill or even his fifth skill, like he can. So he can come in and do DPS, especially since I have him at tier 3 with a decent build, even though it's not a PvP build by any means. But then he just makes it so that my Sentry is pretty much a god, even without reforging his CTP. So if you guys like to reforge your CTPs for your characters, or if you have a reforged CTP for your Sentry, like you can see my Sentry is not done. Like, I should ideally fill out all of these slots with more dodge. I probably should take off some of the attack Odin's blessings off of him and just go for straight HP and dodge to make him as annoying as possible. But I like to use him this way personally, because at some point I do think I want to change him over to being a PvE character, especially if he gets a uniform anytime soon. But that's a whole different conversation. The point is, Ebony Maw right now is actually amazing for timeline battle, and I highly recommend that you guys try out this team composition with your Sentry, even with your Silver Surfer, to give him more survivability. The only thing I will say is watch out for Molecule Man if you like to pair him with Colossus, because Molecule Man, his leadership will completely negate Colossi? Anyways, English? Do you even speak it? Anyways, Molecule Man, my man Owen Reese, his leadership will completely negate Colossus's passive, Titor's will. However, what it will not mess with is this man's uniform bonus. So that's really good. That's another reason why he's kind of so clutch, because there's nothing you can do to negate this. Whereas even though Colossus is top tier, right, top tier for PvP, you have a way to work around his will. You don't have a way to work around this man's uniform bonus. So I'll show you guys a couple different fights here with Ebony Maw in this uniform and then in this uniform, and then you can kind of see what the damage reduction and the damage increase looks like even on autoplay. Now I want you to look at the damage that my Sentry is doing, and then look at the damage he's taking as well. All right, keep in mind, my guy is not reforged. Like, we're dummying this man, and he even got a head start because my skills were on cooldown. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is because of the fact that my damage reduction is so high. You might be saying, wait, he has the same thing. Yeah, I just mine is just better. It is what it is though. But you can see how Sentry just becomes such a tank with so much DPS. It's absolutely insane, right? It's absolutely insane. So I'm gonna do it again, and I want you to just take a look at the damage we're taking and the damage we're doing and how consistent my Sentry just tanks, right? And then we're gonna take off Ebony off the team, right? And then I want to show you the difference that it makes. And then on top of that, we're gonna swap to the old Infinity War uniform and show you the difference that makes as well. Like, just having 2 sentries with Ebony Maw just chilling there, buffing him, it makes the fight take so much longer, right? And here's the thing: if your enemy is fighting against you, and the fight is taking longer, there's a more of a chance that they're gonna make a mistake, right, and slip up and ultimately die. But you can see my Sentry's putting them to bed, bro. He's not even done. Imagine if I reforged this man. Imagine if I reforged him, guys. All right, watch the vibe, guys. We took off the uniform, the new one that is, and now let me see the difference. Let me show you guys the difference. It's only 10% damage we're losing, right? Damn, we still dropped him off. Yo, my guy, what you have on here? My guy, he has a very similar build to me. He has everything that I have, bro. But why are you getting dropped off so easily, bro? Damn. Okay, so I guess this guy is just not strong enough to beat my Sentry. It's crazy because he has more HP on his Sentry than I do. So now we have just Colossus for the damage reduction. You can see the amount of damage I'm doing to his Sentry versus what he's doing to me, but he's still struggling. I don't know what he's done to his Sentry here, but his Sentry is not keeping up with mine. Why is that? Okay, I think he's gonna get me. It looks like he's gonna get me. By the way, this is how I run all my timeline fights. And you can see when you have a monster like Sentry, you can do 100 PvP fights in a week and only lose like 7. Actually, we did 135 so far. But you can see, like, it's taking me longer to kill him without Ebony Maw on my team. But I'm still killing him. This is not how it was going before. Oh my gosh, yeah, this man, I don't know. Sorry, bro, I don't mean to like show you up, but like something going on with your Sentry here, bud. Damn. See, yeah, he got dropped off even with the uniform for Ma. Yeah, see. Sentry is just OP. If there's one thing you should take away from all this, is like, just give Sentry as much damage with... Okay, Ebony Maw came out and dropped off Sentry. Okay, so if there's one thing you should take away from this, is give Sentry as much HP as you can, give him as much dodge as you can, give him Ebony Maw if you can, with the new uniform preferably, right? Because the longer he's alive, the more likely you are to win. All right, boys, so we're going up to Challenger. Here comes a new Challenger. So we're gonna go against this man right here. I think he won last week. He won his first trophy, so shout out to him. All right, we're gonna jump in and let us see what my team with Silver Surfer does compared to, because this is the team that I would normally run before, but now with Ebony getting this new uniform, it changes things a little bit. Because here's the thing, WHALES, man, like I said, is gonna cancel out Colossus's passive, right? Which makes it so that we don't have any damage reduction, and then he's gonna have damage reduction and a damage increase against my Surfer and my Sentry. It should be spicy. I expect to lose this. I would be very shocked if I didn't lose this, especially since I believe all those challenger buffs apply to him and they don't apply to me. It's a shame that WHALES, man, besides his leadership, he's not really worth his salt in timeline. In AC, he's very, very useful, and I am gonna tier 3 him soon. If you guys want to see gameplay with him, smash that like button and let me know, because I know not too many people use him. That's because he's just, unfortunately, not everything he could have been. He brought something new to the game, but he didn't change it as much as I was hoping for. I'm very shocked that I'm actually not just getting washed by this man. Yeah, I'm very much so shocked. Especially since he has a reforged CTP. This is why when people ask me, yo, why haven't you reforged any CTPs? Do I look like I need reforged CTP, fam? Like, come on now. This is shocking still. This is actually shocking. So when we jump back in against him, it will be interesting to see how much longer or how much shorter the fight is with Maw. Yeah, so he has, what does he have? Yeah, we might lose this though. I think we might lose it because, see, he's able to tank more than me because of Ebony. Yeah, I think we might lose. Like, if I take over and start playing now, I could win because I could just look for the gaps when he's not in iframe and when my skill is not going to be interrupted by that reforged CTP passive thing. But this is just to show you guys how the characters perform on autoplay, obviously. So eventually over time, the Sentry that's able to tank enough will be the victor. It's just what it is. We actually ended up sniping him there with Silver Surfer. Ebony came out and actually got a W. Old Ebony Maw, he not doing that. That's just facts. Old Ebony not doing that. But hey, we actually still skated by with the dub. I'm actually impressed. Man, my characters are built different. You feel me? You feel me? Anyways, let me go in and let me actually just swap out Surfer out the team. And let's just see if with Maw now in the mix, with the new uniform, if we just completely decimate or if we just get destroyed. Because we did need Surfer to come through and full counter on the Sentry to drop him off, and we did need to reflect to deal with their enemy Ebony Maw as well. So should be interesting to see how we do against one of the top whales in the game right now. Let's get it. All right, boys, let's see how my man does. Round 2. These CTP procs that interrupt your skills, they're pretty annoying, and fighting them when you don't have your CTP reforge is actually kind of challenging, and it could in most cases determine who wins and who loses. Like for me, this is a very big uphill battle going against somebody who has this where is it? I don't know if you can even see it, the success thing there. That thing that allows them to like interrupt your attacks is very overpowered for timeline for any PvP game mode, because like you'll have your tier 3 up, you'll pop your tier 3, and then that pink bar will build up underneath their character's health bar, and then immediately just interrupt your skill, and then you lose. But you can see the difference, right? Before, when we were using Silver Surfer, it took us like what, 3 minutes? No, what am I saying? We had 3 minutes left, so it took us like 2 minutes to win the fight, right? However, with just Sentry and giving him the right supports, even though Colossus right here is kind of useless because Molecule Man is basically eliminating his passive, right? Just having Ebony Maw on the team, we're able to kill the enemy faster and we were able to tank more with Sentry. So honestly, man, Ebony Maw's value has skyrocketed, absolutely skyrocketed, and he's not the one to be slept on either because he can drop you off. So let me do this. Let me actually just do this. Let me give Sentry even more HP, so it's harder for them to kill him the first time. I recently got my girl, Icky Vicky. Where's she at? I recently got her up to level 70. Or you can just do something cheeky like this and just throw in Destroyer. But I think Destroyer needs something else. Guys, you ever been looking for a character and they're right in front of you and you just can't find them? So in case you guys don't know, because Victorious has been in the game for a while, you might be a new player coming in. Victorious, her passive gives you 30% more HP. So from having her on the team, my Sentry now has a whopping 108,000 HP. Like, look, see the difference? We go from 88 to 108. So she definitely adds a lot. And if they can't kill my Sentry the first time, they can't kill him at all. We might be seeing the return of Victorious. And here's the thing, my Victorious doesn't even have an insight on her. So if I give her an insight, right? Because Colossus does have an insight on him. So if I give Victorious an insight and replace her on the team with Colossus, Yeah, bro, like fat stack of HP, bro. Fat, the fattest of stacks. Bro, we dropped him off. Dropped him off in the Mojave Desert. Left him, bro. Yeah, so you can see Colossus wasn't really doing nothing for us. We're still tanking, and we're still doing mad stacks of damage, bro. Well, Colossus was doing something for us because he does have the insight on him, right? So it might be time. We're gonna lose our tier 3. Nope. Yeah. So this might be the new meta. This right here is the new meta team. This is it, boys. This is it. Yeah, man, we stacking them W's to the ceiling on autoplay, boys. On autoplay. So here's the thing. Before I send you guys on your way, right? So even though Molecule Man was eliminating Colossus's passive, where's my guy Colossus? Go to combat. And then my guy Colossus is right here. He does rock an insight. So he was giving me 20% extra damage to Sentry and Molecule Man, as well as Ebony Maw, right? Whereas Victorious, she does not have an insight. So if I swapped over an insight to her, Sentry would be killing even faster, and it would be even more tanky when you go up against a team using Molecule Man, because the leadership for Molecule Man doesn't affect Victorious's passive. So just keep that in mind, boys. This might be the new meta team right here. More testing will need to be done, but I will say this, man, this uniform for Ebony Maw is so good in so many ways. All right, guys, so after I finished rewatching the video, I realized something. Even though this team is very, very good, because Vicky gives you that 30% extra HP to bump up your Sentry to some crazy numbers, here's the thing. There's a better option than Victorious. And I don't know why I didn't think about it initially, because I use the character literally every single day for giant boss raid as a leadership. And that's actually Red She-Hulk. She actually has, check this out, she has 25% extra HP on her leadership. But for PvP, you always want debuff removal, so you're not going to use this. However, what you can use is her passive. 30% extra HP to all allies, just like Victorious, but then in addition to that, you get 10% damage reduction. So this is way better, because then you get 10% damage reduction from her, and then another, like, and by the way, this damage reduction over here will apply to every type, right? Versus Ebony Maw's, which only applies to universal types. Universal types kind of dominate PvP. Whether it's universal uniform on Jean Grey, whether it's Thanos, Dormammu, Sentry, Silver Surfer, you can kind of see that this uniform bonus here is a big deal. Having two different types of damage reduction that cannot be messed with via Molecule Man's leadership is an even bigger deal. All right, so just wanted to point that out. Quick correction here at the end of the video. This team is even better. If you want to, you could give her an insight and then make her a PvP support for your Sentry. All right, so Molecule Man is doing like no damage as expected. Yeah, he's not taking us. He's not taking us down without a fight, boys. Okay, we're going against a reforged Sentry, and we are just dummying this man. Yeah. Look at the amount of damage. Bro. Okay, he did a decent amount of damage there, but he didn't even make my yeah. He didn't even make my regen proc.